Hello there and welcome to a new episode of Brain News, the most respectable news source for channels under 20 subscribers. Today we're going to talk about neurotransmitters, so let's dive right in. To start off, we're going to start by classifying all the neurotransmitters. The first one is called a small molecule neurotransmitter, and it is basically what the name already tells you. It is a small molecule that is produced in the axon terminal, and it can be deployed very quick, and it's derived from products from the diet. The second type of neurotransmitters is called a peptide neurotransmitter. It is a chain of amino acids that is synthesized in the cell, but that also means that it is way slower to make compared to the small molecule neurotransmitter. These neurotransmitters can also be used as hormones. The third type are neurotransmitter gases. This can be either nitric oxide or carbon monoxide. These gases are can both dissolve in water, and they help to dilate blood vessels, aid digestion, and activate cellular metabolism. There are multiple types of neurotransmitter systems, but for now we'll mostly focus on the systems that are used in the central nervous system because those are the most important. The first one is called the cholinergic system, and it works with acetylcholine, and it participates in waking behavior, attention and memory. The system is related to Alzheimer's disease, which is a progressive degeneratory disease that makes you basically forget things. Next up we have the dopaminergic system, which works with, you guessed it, dopamine. It participates in maintaining normal motor behavior, and the chemical itself is used with feelings of reward and pleasure. And it plays also a heavy role in addiction, because it's basically the molecule that makes you addicted to some kind of drug or kind of behavior. Next up we have the noradrenergic system. It works with a chemical called norepinephrine. It participates in maintaining emotional tone. Decreases in the chemical might lead to depression. I'm not supposed to give my own opinion here, but don't do depression, kids. Lastly, we have the serotonergic system, and it works with the chemical serotonin. It plays a role in learning behavior and can also play a role in depression or OCD. To move on, we have two types of receptors. The first is called the ionotropic receptor, and the second one is called a metabotropic receptor. They are both embedded in the cell membrane. Ionotropic receptor, they both have a binding site for a neurotransmitter, and the ionotropic receptor also is connected to a pore. That means that if the neurotransmitter binds to the receptor, then the pore would open. Ionotropic receptors are usually excitatory. The metabotropic receptor is slightly different in the way that it is not connected to a pore, but rather to another molecule, that if the neurotransmitter binds to the receptor, then the receptor would activate the molecule that is binded to it, which means that the receptor itself would only act as a second messenger and not do something itself. Hold on, viewers. Yes? Yes. Alright, we just talked about Alzheimer's and depression, and I heard we have some breaking news about this, so we go live over to our reporter in the field.
Thank you, Dan. Today I'm going to talk to you about Parkinson's disease, which is a progressive nervous system disorder that affects movement. Symptoms develop gradually, but they first start off as a tremor on one hand. Further symptoms consist of stiffness and inability to control movement. Parkinson's disease is a motor system disorder which is correlated with the dopaminergic system, more specifically with dopamine loss, less than 10% in the basal ganglia and substance nigra. Ways to cure it include medication and recently deep brain stimulation. In order to control movement and other functions, brain cells use electrical signals to communicate. In Parkinson's disease, these signals become uncoordinated and irregular. The brain stimulation interrupts the typical signaling patterns in a way that allows cells to communicate more smoothly and thus lessen symptoms. That's all for today. Dan?
Alright viewers, that was very interesting. But this is it for this week's show of Brain News. I am Daan Teunissen and this is it for this week.